There's a white powder on Amazon right now for $9 a bag. It reflects 98.1% of every solar ray that touches it. It does not just keep a surface cool, it actively pushes heat back into space. NASA engineers tested this compound in the 1970s and published the results in a federal report. Purdue University confirmed it again in 2021, and Guinness World Records certified the finding. A homeowner in Phoenix mixed this powder into a $4 can of white paint, brushed it onto his roof in one afternoon, and his attic temperature dropped 43 degrees Fahrenheit before the week was out. His monthly electric bill fell by $190 in the very first month. The material cost him $9. The AC industry generates $130 billion every single year in the United States alone. Utility companies collecting your monthly payments generate another $450 billion. A $9 powder that eliminates the reason you need either one of those industries cannot be allowed to sit on a shelf with a clear label explaining what it does, so it does not. It sits there under its chemical name. Quiet, unknown, waiting for someone to open this vault. This is the story of barium sulfate, the whitest solid material on Earth. The compound that reflects more sunlight than fresh snow, more than white sand, more than any commercial roof coating ever sold. And the story of exactly why two of the most powerful industries in America spent 50 years making certain you never connected those two facts. Welcome to Lost Skills. This is where the vaults open. Subscribe now and share this before it disappears. When sunlight hits a dark roof on a July afternoon in Texas, approximately 90% of that solar energy converts directly into heat. That heat pushes through your insulation and into your attic. A standard attic in midsummer Dallas routinely reaches 150 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Your air conditioner turns on. The meter spins. The bill arrives. The U.S. Department of Energy documented this clearly. In a hot climate, up to 40% of your total cooling load enters directly through the roof. Your AC is not fighting the outdoor temperature. It is fighting your own roof every single afternoon from May through September, every year you own that house. Now, what happens when that roof reflects 98% of incoming solar radiation instead of absorbing it? The surface temperature does not just drop, it drops below the ambient air temperature. Physicists call this radiative cooling. When a surface reflects incoming solar energy and simultaneously emits stored heat upward as infrared radiation into the atmosphere, it loses more energy than it receives. The surface gets colder than the air around it without any power input whatsoever. That is not a marketing claim. That is thermodynamics. And barium sulfate achieves this better than any other solid compound ever tested. The year is 1972. A team of physicists at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston is dealing with a problem that has nothing to do with rockets. Houston summer temperatures hit 105 degrees regularly, and the AC systems in the research facilities cannot keep up. One physicist on the team had been developing ultra-reflective coatings for spacecraft that needed to reject solar heat in orbit. He asked a simple question: what if we apply the same chemistry to buildings on the ground? The experiment was run. The results were published in NASA Technical Report TND 7565. Surfaces coated with high reflectance white pigments reduced solar heat gain by up to 80%. Rooftop temperatures dropped 40 degrees compared to uncoated surfaces beside them. Interior temperatures fell 8 to 12 degrees without any mechanical cooling running. Federal buildings quietly adopted the coating as standard specification. And for 140 million American homeowners paying electricity bills every month, nothing happened. For 50 years, the solution sat in a government archive with a NASA stamp on the cover. Stay with me because this is where the story moves from suppressed government science to something that caused a quiet crisis inside the paint industry itself. In 2021, Professor Xiulin Ruan and his team at Purdue University published a paper that the paint industry did not want published. They had systematically tested white pigments searching for the compound that reflected the highest percentage of sunlight. Standard commercial white paint reflects 80 to 85%. That sounds good until you understand the threshold. To achieve passive radiative cooling below ambient air temperature, a surface must reflect more than 95% of the full solar spectrum. Ultraviolet, visible, and near-infrared simultaneously. Heat from sunlight arrives across that entire range. A coating that only reflects visible light while absorbing infrared is still pulling in a massive portion of the heat load. They tested compound after compound, then they tested barium sulfate, BaSO4, a mineral that costs $9 a bag. It reflected 98.1% of incoming solar radiation across the full spectrum. Nothing tested before came close. Surfaces coated with the Purdue formula measured 8 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the surrounding air during the day. At night, with no sun at all, the difference grew to 19 degrees below ambient. Professor Ruan calculated that a barium sulfate coating on 1,000 square feet of roof produces a cooling power of 10 kilowatts of constant thermal output. The average American central AC system runs at 3 to 5 kilowatts. A coat of paint generates more than twice the cooling power of your entire AC system without 1 watt of electricity. The Guinness Book of World Records certified it as the whitest material ever recorded. Every major science outlet ran the story in 2021. And then the paint industry moved on quietly and changed absolutely nothing. Here is why. Both industries share one foundational requirement: your roof must absorb heat. If your roof absorbs heat, you need air conditioning. If you need air conditioning, you need electricity. The meter spins every month without stopping. A standard asphalt shingle roof, covering 75% of American homes right now, reflects roughly 5 to 15% of incoming solar radiation. It was engineered to absorb. Because absorbed heat creates a customer who pays for the unit, the installation, the servicing, and the electric bill every month for 30 years. You cannot patent barium sulfate. You cannot build a $130 billion recurring revenue industry on a powder that costs $9 a bag. So homeowner associations across dozens of states now explicitly prohibit highly reflective white roofing surfaces. They require earth tones and dark grays, the exact colors proven to guarantee maximum AC dependence. The system was built to keep the heat inside your home and the meter running. If you have made it this far, you already know more about passive cooling than 99% of people paying a summer electric bill right now. Subscribe and share this. Everything the industry buried is in the vault. The link is in the description. Stay with me because what comes next is what they truly did not want you to find. I need to be honest here because credibility matters more than drama. Barium sulfate is not perfect for every situation. In regions with very high humidity, the radiative cooling effect is somewhat reduced because atmospheric moisture absorbs a portion of the outgoing infrared radiation. It performs best on low slope or flat roofs with clear sky exposure. But here is what it delivers with full consistency in every documented test. It reduces rooftop surface temperatures by 30 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It cuts attic temperatures by 20 to 40 degrees. It reduces AC runtime by 30 to 50%. All of this for under $30 in materials, applied in one afternoon without any professional tools. Here is exactly what to do. Step 1. Search Amazon for precipitated barium sulfate, also listed as Blanc Fix. You want the precipitated form, not natural barite. Finer particle size means higher reflectance. A 1 kilogram bag runs $9 to $15 and covers 150 to 200 square feet. For an average 2,500 square foot roof, budget $70 to $110 total. Step 2. Buy standard exterior white latex paint. Any hardware store brand works. The barium sulfate is the active reflective agent. The paint is just the binder that holds it to your surface. Step 3. Mix it 40% powder by weight to 60% paint by volume. Stir slowly for 5 full minutes until no clumps remain. The mixture will look almost luminous compared to plain paint beside it. Step 4. Apply 2 coats with a thick nap roller on an extension pole. Let the first coat dry 4 to 6 hours. Apply the second coat perpendicular to the first. 1 afternoon of work covers an average roof completely. Step 5. If your HOA prohibits reflective surfaces on visible roof slopes, apply the coating to your attic floor and the underside of your roof decking from inside, not visible from the street, not covered by any HOA document. It delivers roughly 60% of a direct rooftop application with zero regulatory exposure. Total material cost? $90 to $130. Total time, 1 afternoon. Reapplication every 3 to 5 years at the same cost. Compare that to a new AC unit at $5,000 to $15,000 installed, annual servicing at $150 to $300, and monthly electric bills of $200 to $400 every summer. Over 10 years, the average American household in a hot climate spends between $18,000 and $35,000 on cooling. A barium sulfate coating over that same decade costs under $400 total. This knowledge did not disappear because it failed. NASA proved it worked in 1972. Purdue proved it again in 2021. The compound is legal to buy, legal to apply, and in stock on every major retailer right now. It was buried under 50 years of marketing that told you the only solution to summer heat was a machine that plugs into the wall and charges you every month. An industry that needed the heat inside your home the same way a subscription service needs you to forget you can cancel. Your great-grandmother whitewashed her home every spring because she knew what the July sun would do to an unprotected roof. She did not need a utility company. She needed a bucket and an afternoon. The physics she understood intuitively, the physics NASA confirmed in writing, the physics Purdue certified to the world in 2021 has not changed. The powder is on Amazon. The roller is at any hardware store. The afternoon is yours. Subscribe to Lost Skills. Share this vault with someone still paying too much this summer. Every share is one more person who found what they spent decades trying to erase. The next vault opens soon. What is inside weighs even heavier.